Hey guys, welcome to the Best Year Yet Challenge Week 2. This week we're diving right into mindsets that crush goals, and we're talking about goal setting and vision setting, and it's probably going to be a little different exercise than you've ever done before. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Thank you to everyone who's already participated in week 1. The outcome has been awesome. I love seeing your guys' posts in the group about how you're becoming more productive, how you're using the 4-list strategy, how you're setting boundaries for yourself, and ultimately, how are you creating this strategy that allows you to live with less stress, less anxiety, and let's hope for better relationships with those around you, aka not being on your phone 24/7, and really just getting to where you want to go in life a whole lot faster. This week kind of ties into that. We're still laying the foundation for success for you as a person and a business owner, and for your business specifically. I'd love to jump into Facebook ads, to tell you the truth, but we can't jump into Facebook ads without laying this foundation first. So let's talk about mindset to get started. This week we're going to jump into the why and the how. So why is it you do the things you do, and how do you do those things to become more successful and achieve your goals in life? The goals are the how. So we're going to talk about first your truth. What is your truth in life? What is your big vision for yourself and your family and your boutique and your brand? What are the common mindset shifts that entrepreneurs need to make? And then finally, how can we make goals that make sense for ourselves? And we're going to hold you accountable to these goals. So don't think you're just going to cruise through this video and not do the challenge. That's not why you're here. You're here to make a difference in your life and in your business. So it's time to get accountable at the end of this training. Now, before we go any further, I just want to remind you that this week it's totally interactive. I'm going to invite you to pause the video and make notes. And I've actually, in the email that I sent out and in our group, added in this training as a PDF download so that you can take these slides that I give you, write notes all over them, and that's going to become really important at the end of this training when we get into goals, because there's some space there for you to create these goal worksheets. So make sure you take a second, pause the video if you need to, and get those downloads so that you can make notes. Ready? Okay, let's go. So success is 80% mindset and 20% market or circumstance. Now, you may not realize this, but you could have been dealt the exact same deck of cards to another boutique that you think is wildly successful. You may be coming from a similar place and have a similar set of circumstances, good, bad, or indifferent. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's mindset that really separates one business from another. So the point is this: you control what you want to achieve, because your mindset creates your willingness to do the hard things that get you to your goal. That's why we're doing this in week 2, because it's so important to success. Okay, what is mindset? Maybe you love mindset and you nerd out about it like I do a little bit, or maybe you're thinking, what the crap is she talking about? Well, mindset is this: it's the established beliefs that you carry, whether you're aware of them or not, because let's face it, we have a lot of mindset that we don't even know we have. And they're the things that influence our daily actions, our reactions, and our vision for the future. So we have mindsets around time, our ability to achieve something, or our worthiness to achieve something. That's a mindset. We also have it around health and family, cultures, habits, fear, and money. And this is a big one for entrepreneurs. So it's one that we're going to talk about. Now, before we get into those specific ideas around mindset, the 2 things that you need to be aware of, and the 3 shifts that most entrepreneurs need to make, that's what's coming next. But let's first talk about your mindset specifically. So do this exercise with me. We're going to go through these questions, but I'm going to ask you to pause the video and write down your answers and really reflect on them. Don't skip over this slide. I know you cheater. Don't skip it. Do the exercise, okay? So here's the deal. First question: why are you in business? Why do you own a boutique? Why is it that you're doing what you do? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? What does this business mean? Pause this video and write this down. Hey, pause the video. Have you not done it already? Write it down. Pause the video. All right, if you're done, let's move on. What is your purpose? What's your purpose as a person in life? Why are you driven to do what you do? What's your purpose? Is it your faith? Are you here to serve? Are you here to lead? Are you here to impact? Are you here to be a mother? Are you here to do something greater than yourself? What is it? Write it down. Third thing, next question. Who is the most ideal version of yourself? And now to answer this, just kind of bear with me for a second. Think about the movie It's a Wonderful Life and how, you have this opportunity to go with this angel, right? And to look at yourself and how you're living your life. But instead, I want you to look at your life 20 years down the road from now. I want you to picture the most ideal version of yourself 20 years from now. Now, she has done everything. She's achieved everything. She is the person and feels the feelings that you want to achieve. If everything goes right, this is the most ideal version of you, okay? So you're looking at her. And I want you to think about, as you have this picture of her in your mind, what is she doing? Who's she with? How's she dressed? How does she talk? How does she act? How is she feeling? What is it about her that you notice? Right? There has to be something. As you're staring at her, what do you notice about her? What's she got going on? Write it down. Pause the video and write it down. Okay. If you have this crystal clear image of who this ideal version of yourself is, now I want you to ask yourself, what separates you from her right now? What's different? What is the gap? What's the disconnect here? What is it that she has or the way that she feels that you don't currently? What is in the middle? Okay? And now, as you think about that, what is the shift that you need to make? What's the difference? Is it a thing? Is it a goal? Is it an achievement? Or is it an illusion? Is it simply a feeling? Is it a sense of happiness that you can create for yourself now, but you don't have to wait 20 years to get? Is it real or is it an illusion? There's been this saying, this act as if, or fake it till you make it, right? And in some cases, fake it till you make it is really true. So let's think about it this way. In terms of the most ideal version of yourself, how can you act as if you are already her now? Right? How can you act as if now to be the most ideal version of yourself? I want you to write that down, but then whatever you don't currently have or the goal that you need to make to get you from point A to point B, I want you to write that down too, because we're going to come back to goal setting in a minute. The point is this: identify the gap and decide if it's tangible or is it just in your mind. When I first hired my own business coach about a year ago, I found myself telling her from time to time that I was reacting to situations. And my daily mood or my outcome was really heavily impacted by how my day was going in business or the things happening around me, or if my kids woke up on the wrong side of the bed. All these things were impacting how I was feeling at the end of the day. And I was feeling a lot of stress and anxiety because of it. And she gave me this one little piece of advice that I still have on a Post-it note behind my desk. And it says, you can choose who you want to be today. Because the truth is, the only thing that we can control is our reactions and our attitudes about the world around us. We can't control circumstances. We can't control what other people do. Or in your case, you can't control what some crazy customer writes on your Facebook page, because we know that's going to happen. You can only control who you choose to be that day and how you choose to see the world around you. It's the only power we have. And that is what your mindset is all about. Your mindset's the ability to recognize thought and patterns in thought, and then to make a change based on that pattern. So 2 things I want you to keep in mind when it comes to mindset. The first, I'm just going to touch briefly on, and that is the fact that thoughts become things. Now, if you've ever watched the movie The Secret or read the book The Secret, you're probably familiar with the idea of the law of attraction. And I know there's lots of opinions about the book The Secret, so let me just give you mine. Take it for whatever it's worth. I believe that God created the universe. And within the universe, He created things like the law of gravity, where everything that goes up must come down. And also within the universe, he created the law of attraction, where when you see something and you are thinking about something, you attract more of it. This is what I mean. Have you ever woken up in the morning and you literally got out of the wrong side of the bed and you tripped when you got in the shower and then you got a speeding ticket on your way to work and then something happened with your kids to really set you off or they got in trouble at school and it's like a snowball effect. The day just keeps getting worse and you're having a bad day and you keep focusing on having that bad day and it just keeps getting worse, right? That's thoughts become things, and we begin to attract more of what we're focusing on. Now, the same is true if you were going to buy a car, and you're interested in a red car, we'll say. And once you have it in your mind that you're going to buy a red car, when you go out on the road, now you see red cars everywhere. Because when you're focusing on the red car, you're beginning to see more of them. Does this make sense? Have you had this happen in your own life? Or when you really focus on something, now you're noticing it everywhere? That's the idea that thoughts become things. And in terms of mindset, we just need to realize that our thoughts are incredibly powerful. But we have the ability to recognize the patterns in our thought to either change them or to shift them into a more positive, more productive manner. That's why we're here today. Now, the second thing I want you to be really aware of is we are who we say we are. So just like thoughts become things, words become truths. This is what I mean. The two most powerful words you have the ability to speak are the words I am, because you choose what comes after these words. You can say, I am terrible at that, or I really struggle with this. Or you can say, I'm confident that I'm going to change this, or I am good at that. It's focusing on the power of positivity behind I am rather than creating a negative I am. Do you understand the difference? Because whatever you say you are, and you will bring more of that into your life. So let me give you an example of what I had happen to me one time, what a friend showed me that really opened my eyes to the power of I am. Now, I'm totally reliving the glory days here. I'm going to Uncle Rico it for a second. But about 10 years ago, I was Miss Rodeo North Dakota, and I was competing for Miss Rodeo America. Now, if you don't know anything about what that even means, that's fine. I'll just tell you it's a lot like Miss America, like that whole system, except it has to do with horses and the Western way of life. So my thought process when I was Miss Rodeo North Dakota was, man, I'm from North Dakota. There's no way I could win Miss Rodeo America because I'm from North Dakota. And what small state like North Dakota ever wins something like that? Texas always wins something like that, right? Well, my friend one day came over to the office I was working at, and we were talking about this, and she said, you know, Ashley, the most powerful thing you could ever do is to say I am and to believe it. She said, so she printed out, she got into like Microsoft Word and printed out, I am Ashley Andrews, Miss Rodeo America. And she printed about 5 copies. And I took these 5 copies and I hung them in my bathroom, on my kitchen fridge. I was in college at the time, so it's kind of everywhere I was hanging out. It was in my office at work, in my day planner, and in my car. And everywhere I went, I could see the words, I am Ashley Andrews, Miss Rodeo America. And I said it out loud every day. And pretty soon, I began to feel like this wasn't such a stretch, right? I didn't care that I was from North Dakota. Like, I had a goal, I had a belief, and I was going for it. And I believed it was possible. Now, what happened next was I actually won Miss Rodeo America. Probably a lot more factors to it than just the power of I am. But the point is this. Had I not used this exercise and actually believed that it was possible for me, it would have never happened. It totally changed that circumstance, that event in my life, and it set my entire life in a totally different direction. The same's true for you. I want you to print off this slide, get it out of your handout that I gave you, and I want you to write who you are. Who is your I am? And I want you to hang it in different places around your business, around your home, in your day planner. Take this and use it to its fullest advantage when you decide who you are and as it relates to the most ideal version of yourself that we just talked about. All right, this is the basis for mindset. we've got the 2 things that you need to remember, but now let's talk about the 3 common mindset shifts that entrepreneurs need to make. These are very, very common. They may be you, they may not be you. I just want you to think about it for a second and see if there's any grains of truth that you can use to impact your own mindset that will help you achieve your goals faster and really with more joy at the end of the day. So the first one's this. No one believes that they are negative or that they have a lot of drama. Because everyone says, I don't like drama. But sometimes it's the people that say, I don't like drama that cause the most drama. So what do you do about this? How do you decide if you're a little more glasses half empty or if you're a little more glasses half full? Just do this simple exercise. I want you to go back and look at your last 5 Facebook comments, or your last 5 Facebook private messages, or your last 5 text messages, or emails, or simply think about the last 5 conversations you had with your husband or your boyfriend or your best friend or your sister. Do you see any trends in the conversations? Are these conversations lifting other people up? Are they talking about dreams and hopes and aspirations? Are they focusing on gratitude? Or are these conversations a little more toned to what's wrong in your life at the moment and what needs to be changed? Negativity and drama aren't always ugly, and they aren't always so obvious to us. Sometimes they're really subtle and we don't even know that we're living in this realm. So I want you to dive in and think about what places in your life are trending more dramatic, more negative, or more positive. And then I want you to do this one thing. And I'm going to talk about this in shift number 3 also. I'm going to wrap back to it. But in order to get away from negativity, I want you to try this one challenge every morning when you wake up. And that is to start your day with gratitude. The first thing you do when you get down at your desk with your day planner, or even when you're just laying in bed, rather than getting on Facebook and scrolling, start each day with thinking about 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. Because remember when I was talking about the law of attraction and what we think about, we attract more of? The same is true with gratitude. The more we focus on what we are thankful for and what's positive in our life, the more we attract it, and the more we focus on it, and the more we see of it in our daily lives. Think about shift number 1. All right, shift number 2. Now, this is a really big topic for entrepreneurs because there's a lot of mindsets out there. In fact, there's several different personality types when it comes to money mindset that I won't even venture to dive into. But let me just tell you about 2 really quick ones. One is money scarcity, and then one is if money is inherently good or bad, because these are 2 really big shifts that entrepreneurs often have to make around money. Now, when it comes to money scarcity, what that is the idea that there's only so much money to go around in the world, and we have to save it and hold on to it and not let it go because we might never have enough to make it. Like we're just holding on to money with a tight, sweaty, clamped up fist, and we don't want to put it anywhere else except for in our pocket. Now, this isn't necessarily greed. Don't mistake the 2. Scarcity is just the idea that you're not quite ever going to have enough because there's not enough to be had. Now, the opposite of scarcity is abundance. And rather than feeling yourself holding on to money with those tight, clamped, sweaty fists, I want you to do that for me. Take your fists and make them tight, clamped, and sweaty. Maybe not sweaty, but hold them out. Feel the fist. The opposite is abundance. And how that feels is just simply opening your hand up, palms facing up. And you're picturing money sitting there, and money at this point is abundant in the world. There's plenty of it to go around, and it's a tool for you to impact the world around you, achieve your goals and dreams, and to build more. So only an open palm, an open fist, is able to receive money, right? Sweaty, closed off palms can't receive money. Only open ones do. So what does that mean? There's scarcity or there's abundance. There's looking at expenses as expenses and losses, or there's looking at expenses as things that drive additional revenue. They're investments. Totally different mindset. You've always heard people say you have to spend money to make money, right? Well, that's actually living this mindset. That's abundance. It takes money to make money, and money is just a tool. The second mindset shift when it comes to money is money inherently good or evil? I happen to have parents, unfortunately, who had the mindset that the rich only get richer and the poor only get poorer. And it's okay if we're poor because rich people don't do things good with money. Terrible mindset to have. Now, they didn't always say it in these words, but that was the idea that I was raised with. And fortunately, I've been able to come clean out of that idea. Here's what I learned along the way. Money's amoral. Again, it's not good, it's not evil. It's just like a brick. Whatever you choose to do with a brick is up to you. You can use a brick to build a beautiful cathedral, or you can use a brick to throw it through someone's window. Money's a mirror. It reflects whatever's happening in our own life. Now, sometimes as women, and I'll say women because that's the majority of our members inside the members-only group at the Hub, sometimes as women we feel like, oh, we don't have to make more money because this is a sacrifice we're doing for our family. But money isn't a sacrifice. Money is a mirror. And whatever good we want to create in the world, money is one opportunity to do that. So I invite you to ask yourself, to you, is money good or is money evil? Is it an opportunity to do good in the world, or is it a liability for you? Think about what is your mindset in this area and how can you shift it? All right, shift number 3 for entrepreneurs is living in lack versus living in abundance. Now let's go back to that ideal version of yourself that you were thinking about a minute ago. And I asked you, what's the gap, right? Where are you now versus where you want to be? What's missing? Now, our mindset could do one of two things in this area. We could continue to focus on what we don't have. Oh, I need more money. Oh, I need more time. I need to live in a different area. Or my storefront needs to be in an area with more traffic. There's the idea of always needing something, and it's separating us from our end goal. Or there's the mindset of abundance, and it's focusing on what we already have that gets us closer to our goal. Man, I've got a great storefront, and I know I'm going to use this storefront to build up to my end goal, which is blank. Or it's saying, man, I am so thankful that my family is healthy, I'm healthy, we have a great, home and food on the table and all these good things happening in our life. I have so much to be thankful for and happy about. Lack versus abundance. Now, as this relates to goal setting, I want you to think about this other shift in mindset. You can set a goal that is for a year down the road or 2 years down the road, and let's just say your goal is to make $1 million. And you could just focus on, man, I'm going to be happy when I make $1 million. And you're focusing on the distance between now and then. You're lacking $1 million to be happy. That is a goal and a mindset of lack. I will be happy when I make $1 million. Versus abundance. Now, a goal that focuses on abundance is, yes, my goal is to make $1 million. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to have a daily sales goal of blank and a monthly sales goal of blank. And I'm going to focus on all of the steps I am taking in the process and the celebrations of meeting these mini milestones in the process to achieve that end goal. I'm going to be grateful for these little daily wins that get me to that end goal. Make sense? So the idea of focusing on what we do have versus what we're missing. All right, so what now? We've thought about our mindset a little bit, identified a couple of areas that we might have the opportunity to make a change. Hopefully you've written those down. But at the end of the day, the point is this. You cannot have the wind in your favor if you don't know what direction you're going. If you're sailing and you don't know what direction the ship's going, the wind can never be in your favor. The point is, you have to have vision, right? So, what is it? What is it that you want to achieve? What do you want to feel, or who do you want to be? That ideal version of yourself 20 years down the road? How do we get there? What is the vision that we're trying to create in real life for ourselves? Now, my favorite way to do this is by creating a vision board. I live and die by vision boards. I think they're crucial. And when I got on the board of vision boards, I got on board of vision boards. That was really a lame joke. I am going to work on that for next time. But when I did, then my husband did too. And I can tell you, it has literally changed both of our lives. I had no idea when we first created these vision boards, like we crushed our goals on these vision boards. We achieved so many of the things that we wanted to. Now, I'm not talking material things or money, but I'm talking feelings of happiness, feelings of gratitude, and just the way that we want to live our life and the way that we want to impact those around us. Because our vision board is a combination of several things. It could be a trip to Disneyland, or it could be a new car or a material item, but it could be just living with more peace, living with a better relationship, living with less stress, better sleep at night, or it could be knowing that we've impacted a cause or a change. For instance, I have a vision on my board of impacting families who want to adopt. That's something that's really important to me. And that opportunity came to me this year. Now, whatever it is, the homework, one of the pieces of homework is this. Create printouts, like photos that you find on the internet or words that you just type out in Word. Print them out, put them on a board. This could be a pin board, it could be frames, it could be just like a magnetic board. That's all I have. Just put it in a place where you're going to see it every single day, because your vision board is only as good as your accountability to seeing it and living it every single day. Otherwise, it's just a wish that floats around in your head. So literally, make a vision board. Now, the next step to making a vision board is diving into the goals. Because the vision is like the end goal, like the big items that you really want to see yourself achieving. And the goals is more of the how do you get there and the more specific items of the vision. So here's the goal setting process. You've all probably set goals at one point or another. You may think this is a waste of time. I think this is crucial because there's no way you can be successful in business if you don't know where you're going and how you're going to get there. This is crucial. Please hear me when I say this. So how do you set goals? The next 2 slides after this are printouts, so make sure you have these. We're going to go through how to use them, but here's a couple of quick tips. Choose 5, just 5. Don't go more than that because it's too many to focus on. You need to get really specific with 5 good goals. And it could be a combination of things in your business or in your personal life or in your health, your family, whatever. Choose 5. Okay, once you choose them, then you ask yourself 2 questions. Why? And so what? Because I want you to drill down into why this goal is important. Why does it really matter? Because that is the thing that's going to drive you to actually achieve the goal. Because if you're just putting numbers on paper, there's no connection or attachment to that. There's a whole lot of attachment to the why. If you want to make $1 million, great. So what? Why do you want to make $1 million? That's the important question. Okay, next tip, quality over quantity. If you want to have 100,000 favorites, but the fact is the algorithm is not going to show your stuff to people anyway, so how can we focus on quality over quantity? Write your goals in such a way that they actually mean something, again, and they aren't just numbers on paper. Next thing, deadlines. Deadlines are so crucial, you guys. You know why? Because a goal without a deadline is just a wish. We are not setting wishes for your business. That is just a time waster, and you wouldn't be here if that's what we were going to do. We're setting goals. People, deadlines. Add a date. When are you going to make $1 million? All right, celebration plans. That is the next big thing. Because if you achieve a big goal, you need to reward. There has to be a positive outcome attached to that goal. So what's it going to be for you? Is it something for your family? Is it a treat for yourself? Because let's face it, a lot of times if you're a mother and a business owner, I know you're not treating yourself very often. So what are you going to do? Write it down with your goals. All right, last step is these goals need to be a part of your vision board. Your vision board might be much bigger than these specific goals are, but they need to be together in a place where you can see them every single day, just like your I ams, so they become ingrained within you. All right, last 2 things that are so important. The first is setting. It's never about the end result. It's about the journey. Because do you remember the idea of the mindset of lack versus abundance? Lack is the feeling of, I will be happy once I achieve this goal. But I'm not there yet. I'm lacking. Versus the I'm going to celebrate every step of the way. It's the journey to getting the $1 million that is most important. How am I going to enjoy this journey? That's the key. Now, the second piece here is be kind to yourself. Yeah, so what's that mean? Be kind to yourself. Well, the hard truth is this. Sometimes when we write down our goals, we don't always achieve them in the way that we think that we are. Like, we may have a goal to do something really specific, but I'm not going to call it failure. I'm going to call it redirection. We'll just say that things don't work out always the way that we plan. Maybe it's a storefront in a certain location that we have big goals for, but we get into it and we realize, oh, it's just not going to work out there for X, Y, and Z reason. So I'm going to redirect this goal to go in a new direction. But we wouldn't have learned about that new direction had we not had that quote unquote failure or circumstance happen in the first place because of the goal we set. Make sense? So the truth is this, be kind to yourself. Because if you listen to Gary Vee or any other thought leader in the industry, they will tell you every entrepreneur has to fail. If you're not failing, you're not succeeding. So recognize that in how you set your goals. Here's how you pick what the goal is actually going to be. This is the process, okay? First thing you do is you write down, if your goal is around money, you just break it down, whatever the goal is. What is the biggest, hairiest, scariest version of the goal? Like, it freaks you out, the thought of even achieving this. It's mind-blowing. Write it down. The next piece is, what is the realistic and safe version of the goal? Like, what do you know you can hit? It's real safe. It's not stretching you outside of your comfort zone. Write it down. And then the third step is what's right in the middle, because that's where your actual goal should be. Okay? So for each of the 5 goals that you're going to create, I want you to go through this process for each of them. What's the big, hairy, scary version? What's the safe version? And then you land in the middle. That's your goal. Once you decide what that goal is, this is the last step of the process. You write the goal down, then you write down your why. Why does it matter? And this directly relates to that journey, doesn't it? And then you write down the deadline, the win. What is your victory? What's your daily victory? How are you going to track your progress to this goal? Then what's your celebration going to be at the end? And then how are you going to represent this goal on your vision board? Are you going to go get a picture of something? Are you going to write down some words? Or what is it specifically going to be? And then put it on your vision board. So this slide, print it off 5 times, one for each of your goals, and go through this process for each of them. Now, the truth is this. You're 32 minutes into this video. Holy crap, 32 minutes. I talked way too long. The truth is this. Are you just going to turn this video off and go, oh, that was great? Or are you actually going to do something about it? Because growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. And the key to success, truly, is to wake up every day and to find the hard thing and do it. When we are comfortable, we're not growing. So we have to get comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable. How are you going to do that? What are you going to make this training into for your own life and your own business? How is this going to impact your future? All right, next up. You've got some homework, you've got some goals to create, you've got a vision board to do, got some visioning to do, and you have the I am to write out. Now what? You've watched the video. Over in our group, remember last week I told you about my husband's super lame word accountability buddy? Well, I'll be posting a week number 2 accountability buddy thread in our group, and I want you to come over there, take a picture of your vision board, please, and post it on that thread. And then I want you to talk about whatever goal you're comfortable with sharing. Because I know some of them are personal. You don't have to share all of them, but just share with us one goal. And then each of those pieces. What's the deadline? What's the daily win that you're going to be celebrating? How are you going to celebrate at the end of the goal? And then what's on your vision board? And what's your why? Put that on the accountability buddy. I can't even say it. The accountability buddy thread in our group. So if you have any questions, tag me in the post in the group. Otherwise, I hope you love this week. I can't wait to hear about your goals and how you're going to crush them and what you learned about mindset this week, because it's such a big, important, crucial topic. 80% of your success comes from your mindset. Please don't forget that. All right, guys, I'll see you next week with week 3. I hope you have an awesome week in the meantime.